Hello, my name is Hasan Sorrells. This is Tom Libby, and you are listening to the GrowthCraft podcast. The GrowthCraft podcast is designed with the startup founder in mind. This podcast is committed to growing your connections to our GrowthCraft advisors, increasing your engagement with the GrowthCraft community, and growing your knowledge about all the benefits that GrowthCraft can provide. We can't wait to bring you along on our journey today. Now, here on this podcast, as I said before, we interview startup founders, we interview advisors and others about their journey, their process, and what the benefits are that the GrowthCraft startup community has provided for them. And today, we'd like to talk a little bit about the podcast and kind of prepare you for our upcoming episodes during our first season. So I wanted to take a little time today to talk with Tom about what exactly it is GrowthCraft does, why we started this podcast, and what you can expect from upcoming episodes. How are you doing today, Tom?
I'm doing fantastic, Hasan. Thanks. And by the way, I think this is brilliant. I think it's brilliant that our very first quote unquote release is just going to be, this is what we're doing, and here's how we're going to help you. I think it's fantastic.
It is an idea whose time has come. We like this. I like the idea of little trailers. I'm a cinematic guy, and so I like the idea of the trailer. You know, a little movie before the movie. Don't reveal too much. So I love all of that. For those of us who are those of us who are listening to the trailer who might not know what GrowthCraft is, you're one of the founding members of GrowthCraft. You came literally with the building, such as it were, if we had a building. So tell us a little bit about the GrowthCraft startup community and why did we decide to do a podcast?
Oh, well, that's kind of a loaded question, right?
It is a loaded question.
So I'm going to take over the trailer and talk for the next 12 minutes. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go.
So let's see. So what's GrowthCraft about? I think one of the things that I've found fascinating over the last, I would say 6 months, right? So we started GrowthCraft quite a bit more than 6 months ago, but we really kind of started pushing stuff forward about 6 months ago. And as you talk to the community members and the advisors and all the people involved, the general consensus really is that when you start your own company as a startup, whether it's technology or something else, you simply can't know everything. So you go out and you look for advice. Well, the avenues in which we have to go look for advice, it's like finding a needle in a haystack, or you find a bunch of the wrong kind of needles in the haystack you thought you should be looking in, but it should have been the other haystack, right? Like, so my point is that Google is so vast that people's decided, I'm going to start looking on LinkedIn for consultants. Now, all of a sudden, LinkedIn is so vast that it's really hard to sift through the minutia of it all and find out who you really should be talking to. So putting that into a community setting where I'm now part of the whole machine that makes it move as a startup founder. Now I can talk to other startup founders and find out what their problems and concerns are. Can we help each other? And if we can't, we have a panel of consultants on the side over here that are all experts in their field, all been vetted out, and all have had opportunity to help startups along their career path, that now I can go and help and go ask them for help. The most important part to all of this is that it's very collaborative and transparent. And it's transparent in a couple of different ways. The most important way to me, and I've actually been involved in situations where I have been a sales consultant to a company who's had a separate marketing consultant and a separate finance consultant, and us three consultants never spoke to each other, but we had to deal with each other's advice and so on, and you know, things that they're trying to get the startup to do without talking to each other, and it just makes it messy. And then we have to go, the owner or the startup founder feels like they're in the middle of everything, and they feel like they're playing like a mediator versus a startup founder. That is all gone with GrowthCraft, where we have encouraged all of our advisors, whether you're in finance or HR or sales, marketing, leadership, that we're going to collaborate with each other and then present the startup founder with a unified front of really good advice and things that have been sound, tried, trusted, and true, so that they don't have to guess which one of their advisors they should listen to. We all basically add it, put it all together, and put it all on the same page. And more importantly, if there's more than one startup that has that, we can put it in the format of a forum and have open discussions about it. So it really gives them an idea and an option to really search out the right needle in the right haystack, if that makes sense.
The right needle in the right haystack, and doing it in a collaborative way with open communication. That sounds, and of course, growing a community. That's what it sounds like GrowthCraft is really all about. As a matter of fact, that's what attracted me to GrowthCraft. You mentioned leadership. I'm the startup leadership advisor, and have a background in leadership and management development, and I've been doing that for about the last 10 years. And what really attracted me to GrowthCraft was this idea of that collaborative, open communication between consultants to really help the startup founders get transparent advice.
So to finish answering your question though, because you asked why
Yeah.
we started the podcast too.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, when you start a podcast, there's a multitude of layers as to why and what you're hoping to get. And I mean, ultimately, there's two things that in my opinion, that really come to the surface. It's number one, it's to help us as GrowthCraft get the word out, right? So this is what we do. This is how we help. And then it also highlights and showcases the members of the community. So the startup founders get an opportunity to really share their stories out to the masses, where maybe they didn't have that opportunity. Maybe they've never been interviewed before. Maybe they've never had a chance to put information about their startup on the stratosphere, so to speak, or in the stratosphere rather. So it's kind of like a twofold thing where, yes, we want everybody to know who we are, so we're putting it out there just as a simple, hey, check us out, look at me kind of thing, right? But of course, ultimately, it's really about the startup founder and really getting them to understand that we're here to help and to push them forward and put them in the spotlight, so to speak, from my perspective. I'm sure there's many, many other versions of this, and you being my co-host on that podcast, hopefully you have a different version of this, because that would even be cooler, but I'm assuming similar, something similar in there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the conversations we've begun having with folks have been absolutely, amazing. And learning about their projects, learning about their approaches, learning about why they've chosen what they've chosen. And of course, learning from them what GrowthCraft has done for them and how the community has provided for them has been just amazing. So I can't wait to launch this podcast. I can't wait to get other people involved in the conversation to continue to grow the community. And I can't wait to introduce the rest of the GrowthCraft community to you and to myself and to other advisors. As we're looking forward, going down the road, it's not just startup founders that we'll be interviewing, right? It's not just startup founders that we'll be featuring. Who else will be coming on the podcast?
Yeah, correct. So our goal ultimately is to get even the advisors, right? So let's put our money where our mouth is, right? Let's take our experts and put them in a hot seat, and let's ask them some hard questions to make sure that they know what they're doing. And I think in that case, that's another example of how we're transparent, right? So we're not hiding our advisors. We're not putting them away so that people just have to quote unquote take our word for it that they know what they're doing. We're going to ask them to showcase some talent for people to see. And I think that's going to be a big part of how we drive new founders to GrowthCraft, because hopefully they'll hear one of the advisors and realize they could really use some help from somebody like that, or a group of people like that, especially a group of people with a very similar mindset, and a mindset in a sense of the collaboration and the help is paramount, right?
Yep.
Not mindset in our areas of expertise. We all have our own areas of expertise. Hassan had mentioned earlier, he's our leadership advisor. I happen to be our sales and marketing advisor. So, again, it's all different facets of business that are represented by those core advisors, and I can't wait to get them to showcase their talent, because we have some real talented people in our stable, so to speak.
Absolutely. I mean, we got folks from, the world of finance all the way to the world of figuring out how to make, the concepts and traction work for your business, right?
Yes.
All the way from mindset to leadership, everything that you would need in order to build a startup, in order to make it functional, in order to make it work, and in order to make it, here's a big word that everybody likes, sustainable, that's
sure.
really what we have amongst our consultants in the GrowthCraft startup community. All right, I think we've talked it up enough. I can't wait to launch the first episode, which should be coming up here in July of 2023. So I want everybody to go ahead and set your set your search bars right in Apple and Spotify, in Google Podcasts, or whatever podcast player it is that you happen to be listening to podcasts on, for the GrowthCraft Startup Community Podcast. You'll also be able to check us out on YouTube starting in August. We'll have video versions of the podcast that will come out on a weekly basis as well. And by the way, this is short. It's only about 20 to 30 minutes, right? So it's a short conversation. Yeah. It's really pithy, and it'll get you right on board with everything that we're doing at the GrowthCraft Startup Community.
And it's real. And it's real, right? It's not, there's not a lot of professional like polish to it. You're going to get some real genuine conversation from people, which I think is also pretty important in today's podcast landscape.
Absolutely. We do appreciate the genuineness. We do appreciate the directness of the folks talking to us in the ways in which they've answered questions. And we can't wait to sort of peel back the curtain and introduce you to those folks as well. So thanks for taking a listen to this trailer, this preview of coming attractions. And please check out the GrowthCraft Startup Community Podcast on July 1st on all the major podcast players where you listen to podcasts. And thanks.
Thanks, everyone.